Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, broadcasting on the DVC to all points unknown. If you're within the sound of my voice, you're listening to Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
Hello and welcome home. This episode of Welcome Home is brought to you by DVC Resale Market. Thank you for joining us on episode 344 of Welcome Home, a Disney Parks and Vacation Club podcast. I'm Tom, here with Trevor. How's it going, Trevor?
Hey, good morning. How is your Saturday going? We are telling people when we're recording.
You're breaking the fourth wall here, man. What are you doing?
But it could be Sunday next week, so you never know.
Well, that's true. They don't know when we record, you know.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of time on Saturday. You don't know when we're recording. But
we used to record Sundays, and then we changed to Saturdays. But it's funny because we already have talked a lot because we finally after several months now. And listen, I'm not don't take this as criticism.
It's been 2 months. It's like or not. I guess several months, but it's been a lot of back and forth.
Trying to get Dapper Danielle. Yeah.
We got our interview.
We got it. Yes, we did. We interviewed Dapper Danielle and her co-writer and brother, Ian, last night. And I think we had a really great time. Honestly, we talked to them for a little over an hour. We probably could have talked to them for 3 hours. I mean, we were in it for sure. Like that was, that I guess if you want to nerd out about Disney stuff, that is a show I would recommend you watch because we very much enjoyed it, and we hope you all will enjoy it too. Because they're great to talk to. Like that was just it was fun. I'm super excited to have it out there. I'm excited for them for the things they're doing next. Like I think, and I said this to Danielle was I love that there is somebody out there that is so passionate about like documenting and like understanding all the little bits of what actually goes into Disney, because it's not as clearly documented as you think it is. And it's very cool that she is like super passionate about that. Well, and she talked about this a little bit, but this is if you watch Imagineering story, they talk about this where the Imagineering didn't have a recording system at all when they built Disneyland. They just built stuff, and everything that they built was like one of one. It was the only one that they ever built because it was the only one they ever thought they were going to build. And then it was actually them going to the Asian parks, building the Asian parks, where they had to start documenting everything and creating records for everything. And that's when they finally started kind of like having some record keeping. But Danielle makes a joke in this episode about how bad the record keeping is at Disney. So but it is funny though, because they've always the Imagineering kind of operated like that, where they just built stuff. And sometimes I'm sure it's a lot better nowadays than it used to be, but the historical part of it not so great.
And that's I think that's the really interesting part is there comes a point where recent history is very well documented, but when you go far enough back, it's like there's a whole bunch of question marks. And like I said, she was fantastic to talk to, and I'm like I said, I'm glad we finally got to do it because she's somebody that I think aligns with our same passion around Disney, and because there's the storytelling, and I love being immersed in it, but then I also love that next step of how did they do this, or what is the intent, or what is you'll hear it on the episodes, there's little things that she brought up that they even in her book that we were talking about. She didn't explicitly call these things out in the book, but then she brought up things that I was like, I would not have even thought about that in my normal walking about Disney, but it makes sense. Like when she brought it up, I was like, oh my goodness. It opened my eyes to it seems obvious, but it's you almost need a neon sign saying this is what we're supposed to be doing here, right? So
Yeah. Well, and I mean, I don't know exactly what you're referring to, but
the World Showcase discussion.
That's what I thought, because, and I just as a preview to this, and by the way, we did do this episode on video, so this will be a video that's on YouTube. This last time we did it with her, we did it audio only. This time we decided to do video, which is very exciting. That we decided to kind of do something a little bit different this time around, and it was nice to have her there on video too, to kind of see her. Because she's like me, and if you watch any of our videos, I am very expressive with my hands and face and stuff like that, and she's the same way. She's her hands and face, and making all sorts of gestures. But as a preview, she makes a very very compelling argument for starting in Canada in the World Showcase. And the thing that actually got me, Trevor, was not even the facts that she had in the book of why you should do it. It was that the Imagineers designed the view of each pavilion to be from that direction.
Yes, and there was intent with it, and you don't think about it, right?
You don't. You're just walking around World Showcase. You're just looking around. You're not really thinking about that kind of thing. But it was so deliberate and so intentional how they designed it. And going to the left, you're actually doing it wrong, which is crazy.
Well, but and okay, and so just so we're on the same page with everybody, we are not debating. I will still go to Mexico first. I will. Yeah. I actually talked about this with my brother last night because we were playing mini golf, and we did actually. It came up a little bit, like I was telling him about the interview, and I explained the part about the World Showcase, and he was like, yeah, but I'm still going to Mexico, and I'm like, yeah, I know, me too, but it's funny.
You made a compelling argument.
Yeah, it's very compelling, and I'll still go, and like it will change how I look at things, but it was just funny because even outside of all of that discussion, it's like, yeah, I know that this is the right way, but I'm still going to go the wrong way.
I'm still going the wrong way. Yeah. I mean, to be fair to her though, like I have gone every time I've ever gone on the International Gateway. I feel like we always go right. So like after, and so that way,
you're right. That's where it actually makes sense. It's just for some reason coming from like World Celebration,
just doesn't make sense for some reason.
It does, yeah. and there's something there that's breaking my brain, and I'm not quite sure what it is.
But yeah, please, we're gonna probably put that out in the next week or so. So please check that out. Give us some feedback on it. We're excited about it though. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, we probably could have talked forever about it. And it is our typical kind of interview where we're not just talking to her about the book. I appreciate that because a lot of times when you have people coming on to promote things, they only want to talk about that thing. And we did talk a lot about the book, but we also, we asked some crazy questions.
There was some Disney nerd talk. There was just, we had some randomness and there was rabbit holes. So it's a good time.
Yeah, it really was. So please check that out. Just, next week or so, look for that. So.
Yeah. But on to other things. We actually, after talking about all that, we have
a lot
DVC
of news
stuff. Yeah, we have news to talk about, and
a lot.
We have DVC stuff, and we have Disney World updates because, of course, Disney World decided yesterday. I don't know if you get these emails, Tom, but they send me like the promotional things, and I got the whole Cool Kids Summer like rundown email, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what I'm talking about this week.
because there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff there. But just to start off really quickly, and this is a quick one, but because we do like to talk about when there's some DVC news and we don't always talk about like discounts and stuff like that, but when there's like a really interesting different one, then we do talk about it. Because, for example, this one, which is DVC members can save 20% on VIP tours. So if you want to get yourself a plaid, now's the time to do it because you can save 20%, which is a hefty sum of money. I mean, for 20% is a big discount on something that expensive,
Yeah, for sure. And also, if this is something where, you have a big family trip planned, like, I would say put this on the table because it's up to 10 guests as part of a group. So, you can have, if you're splitting it between a couple of families at all, and the 20% discount on top, like you said, it seems like a good time to have a plaid. Also should point out that they say most dates
through April 26th to October 3rd, 2026. They do explicitly call out blackout dates for May 22nd to 26th and July 3rd to 5th, which I'm guessing are because of, sorry, what is that holiday called for you guys? I'm sorry, I'm being very Canadian right now. It's Victoria Day for us in May. For you, it's
Memorial Day. Yeah,
Thank you, Memorial Day. Yeah, sorry, I was like, I want to say it's Victoria Day, and you would have been like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I've learned my Canadian holidays. Okay,
So and then obviously July 3rd to 5th is Independence Day. So understandably, they're that they're not going to do discount anything at those times.
They also love doing new things Memorial Day weekend, which is a theme of what we're about to talk about in a few years. But they love opening new attractions Memorial Day weekend. Like, I feel like that's always like when they do things. But listen, 20% off. You're talking a VIP tour can be anywhere from $450 to $950 an hour, and you have to do it a minimum of 7 hours. So like, you're talking that's a really hefty discount if you're a DVC member. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it would make me do it, but it would certainly make me think about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where if the stars aligned and it was like, oh, hey, I don't know, it's nobody has a couple $1,000 sitting around, but if for some reason it was like I had the means to justify it, and even if it was like, well, it's close, but it's a little too expensive, I would probably do the mental gymnastics to make it happen. Again, a 20% discount, like you said, is like, that's pretty huge when you really think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. So I want to move on from that though, Trevor, because this next thing, I'll just play the music, man.
Tom, okay, yeah, go do it.
Reckless speculation.
So reckless, Trevor.
It's so reckless. It's so much speculation. We may be wrong, we may be right, but it doesn't matter because it's reckless speculation.
I forget who it was in the Discord who said they were walking around the grocery store the other day and they were singing this in their head, and I was like, mission accomplished.
Yeah.
But okay, so
it would be wild to hear that in a grocery store.
I know, right? I think he said at first he thought maybe he was hearing it in the grocery store. Listen, I mean, I would love to make a deal with grocery stores, just to play. But I think Food Time would go better, but grocery store anyway. But okay, so we need to talk about this, Trevor, because this feels to me like this is going to happen, but it also feels too crazy to happen. Okay. Right. So we've been wondering since they announced the Cars ride, we've been speculating how they're going to do this ride. Right. Because they about a year ago, they showed kind of like them doing like off-roading and like golf carts for it. And it looked like it was going to be this kind of off-road thing. Now, if you've seen what the Cars ride is over at California Adventure, or they use the test track system, which has you're a very defined track that you're going on. But this felt different, and we've been trying to understand how they were going to do it, and we might have an answer. And this is reckless speculation because we don't know, but this feels like a really well timed patent, and it feels like this patent is really geared towards this ride. I mean,
yeah.
So, Go ahead.
Yeah,
I can explain it, or you can explain it.
Yeah. So what the patent is talking about is, so there's an outline of the ride track, but then it looks like at certain points in the track you will have some sort of control over the direction that the vehicle takes. So the part that they're specifically calling out is they're saying there's off-roading sections. So here's the thing that I'm thinking about with this, I'm thinking that this could go one of two ways, because you were just talking about, we were kind of assuming this was going to be a Radiator Springs Racers type ride initially, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about that is that in Radiator Springs Racers, there is two different tracks that the cars can go down technically, because it hits a point where the cars actually they will split off and they will race each other. So you have that ability built into that system where you can have different branching paths in it. But the thing about this, or the way that this patent is laid out, is that they're showing sections where it's like there's like different bumps, there's like washboard sections, and the cars don't seem, or the way that it's designed, there's no clear track that's showing up, which makes me wonder if it, having this patent, I'm wondering if it might be a hybrid system, because I know, like, and I'm assuming like you were thinking of this as like, it'll be like a trackless ride, right? Where the entire thing is trackless, but then at certain points maybe you can drive it a little bit.
Yeah,
but I'm wondering if they like. I'm kind of envisioning a hybrid system where it like you have like set sections where it's like I said, the larger track is like, you have it moving along like a radiator springs type track, but then maybe it decouples at some point and it's able to do like these off-roading sections and then comes back onto the track again. Like,
yeah. So I don't see it in this article that I sent. Oh, wait, no, it's there. So it's as per the patent, the ride vehicles will be able to navigate terrain through a track guide wire, and guests will be able to control some elements within a set of parameters. So essentially, what I think they're doing here is they're going to have like, okay, you can have guests are going to control the speed of the vehicle, but the minimum speed it has to go is X, and you can never drop below that. And almost like on Mission Space, if you don't push the buttons, they just push the buttons for you.
It overrides.
Yeah, like it overrides, right? So like you can make it go faster if you want, again, to a certain maximum level, and you can't let it go below a certain minimum level. And it'll be the same with steering, where you'll be able to steer it, but not completely, right? So like the car will let you steer to a certain point, but if you're about to run into a wall, yeah, exactly. When you're about to run it into a wall, it takes over. It's almost like the thing on my car that drives me insane, where like if I veer out of the lane a little bit, the steering wheel like steers me back a little bit. I don't know if you have that on any of your cars, but
I mean, I'm not veering out of my lane, so
I'm not either. But sometimes it misunderstands the lines on the road. But anyway, it's kind of a similar thing to me, where it's like it's almost pushing you back into the safe guide path. But if they do this, if they really do this, this is crazy. I mean, it really is.
The potential of it is very insane, because that puts it. We always talk about this with rides, is the rewritability of them, where it's even like Haunted Mansion, it's a set path, but because of the fact that there's details, you're able to go back and ride it again, and you can see little things, and it is a different experience every time. But this is, like you said, it's another level of, maybe the first time through a section, you're completely over to the right and you're, it's very bumpy. And then the next time it's very smooth, or maybe you're hitting like I'm actually envisioning, I'm looking at these designs, and it doesn't explicitly say it, but I'm envisioning like possibly like a water element, like moving through a creek or something. And then, they show like washboard, like bumps and stuff like that. So, I mean, the interesting thing about that is then it becomes it kind of becomes a little game in and of itself, of like which is the best path to take, like which line should you be taking through the ride, which that's always fun too. Like it becomes again, if this all comes to fruition and this is actually how the ride plays out, is then it becomes a thing of like, you're not just going on the ride, you're starting to talk with other people, like, oh, what elements did you do, or what are the best elements of the ride, and then it becomes a silly like rating game of like how to optimize it, which I mean, that's whatever, like you could, like, that's fun too on a different level, but it's such a cool thing that they're trying to do this, and like you said, this is a patent. We don't know what it's actually going to look like, but based on the videos and everything that we saw, that they are trying to really like capture that off-roading element of it. I hope this is as fantastical as I envisioned it in my head.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, because the idea of, because you're basically, what's also cool about this though, Trevor, is you're almost taking you're taking what Autopia was originally, right? There was a time where there were no rails, right? Like,
yeah,
there was a time where you could just drive the car and bump into each other and do crazy stuff, right? And like, that's what they're doing here, but they're doing it in a controlled way that not only keeps the guests from hitting things, but also keeps the ride moving along. Because you also have that problem with, Autopia, Tomorrowland Speedway, whatever.
You take your foot off the gas. Yeah.
Some kid just stops in the middle of the track and now there's a backup forever, right? Like Disney does not like those kinds of operational issues, right? Like that slows down the hourly capacity of a ride, and that is not okay. So doing this, they maintain control while also giving people, I don't want to say it's the illusion of control, because there is an actual piece of control there in this patent where you're choosing the ride path. It may be a defined ride path, but you're still doing it.
There's some agency on it, which then comes the next thing about this. And again, so just a reminder to everyone, we are speculating on this, so we could be totally wrong. But then comes the next problem of this, which is the Smuggler's Run problem.
There's there like a way to get around it, or like a hack?
No. So the problem.
Who's going to drive? Who's going to drive?
So the problem with Smuggler's Run is there's 6 seats in the car, and only 2 people are actually the pilots. And if you have people at the front that are pilots, that kind of the same problem as Autopia, where you're not, they're not driving, or they just take their hands off the controls, and it doesn't do anything. It's the same problem that, the experience is like less than ideal, right? So because you're basically, somebody has control of the car, but if you're in the car with somebody that is controlling it and you don't have any say over what happens, I mean, you are literally just along for the ride, but it's the same problem of, somebody can steer it into nothing, or the most tame path when you're looking for the most exciting path or whatever. So I mean, I'm wondering how this is going to play out. Is if it's going to be, if people have control over it, then are people then vying for the seat in the car that has the steering wheel?
So. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Right? Well, some people don't want to drive though. Like my wife wouldn't want to drive. She would want.
Fair. Absolutely. But those of us that do want to drive, it becomes free
rideability, my friend. You ride, you do it this time, I do it next time, right? Like you go on again.
But also, I don't want a stranger driving my car either, and because then I have to backseat them and be like, "You're doing it wrong."
But that's why this system is ingenious, Trevor, because you can't run into the same problem that you do on Smuggler's Run with somebody who's bad at driving it, because it does some of the work for you, right? It keeps you within certain parameters, right? So there's even if you can go within those parameters, it still gives you the freedom to move within them, but just not outside of them. So you can speed up, you can slow down, but at all times you're going to be going at least whatever minimum speed the system needs you to be going, and you're going to be staying with. I'm almost looking at it as like if Tomorrowland Speedway had like a big wide rail instead of the one skinny one, where you can go anywhere you want within that, but you can't go outside of the rail, and that's kind of what it is, but it's in a trackless way. I mean, in a second, the other thing here too, Trevor, is what's the height requirement going to be for the driver? Like, if they why wouldn't they let kids do this if the guardrails are there? Like the electronic guardrails are there.
I'm just speaking from the selfish side, which is, I want to go through the creek and over the washboard, and somebody just goes over to the other side, and I'm like, no, go the other way.
Don't make me pull this car over.
Right. Yeah.
I will go through the washboard area.
But seriously though, you're absolutely right that the ride itself will be set up that kids can do it, which means whatever element there is of controlling is not going to be like at most it would be like Autopia, where you have some control over the car, but really it doesn't. I agree with you. I don't think there's going to be anything about this that where you can full stop the car, or to it says, it'll have a cable or something. So even if you could take your foot off the gas, or it does stop, I feel like you said, at some point it would pick up on its own and move you along. So
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's, but like I said, I'm just looking at it from that angle of, you know, every time you give people control over things, there's the wonderful part of, you know, people that do engage with it. But then when you get into a situation where there is like a car full of people and one person has control, but then that one person is like not engaging in it.
Yeah.
Kind of, it doesn't, like, it kind of ruins it for the rest of the car.
It's not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the only, like, maybe it's I don't know. Maybe you need your like, you know, pseudo driver's license before you get to drive the car or something.
That'd be funny. Yeah. I mean, I like I said, I'm not going to be shocked if they do, because I think they definitely want to do something different than Test Track and do something even different than the Cars Ride in California. And this is the way to do that. I mean, this is incredibly innovative. I can't think of anything else where you can actually do this. What they're talking about doing here. And I mean, to me, I know we're recklessly speculating, but if you look at this patent, I feel like it's very difficult not to say that they're going to use this for this ride. I mean, it just feels too coincidental with the timing and exactly what they're showing with the off-roading piece, and like it just there
is specifically off-roading elements in this patent. So yeah.
And I mean, they filed this patent back in 2024, which is when they were developing this ride. I mean, I don't know. It just feels too coincidental not to be the case. And like I said, if they do this and it works, it's going to be hugely. I mean, it's already going to be hugely popular, right? But that's going to make it even more popular because people, like you said, the rewritability of it is going to be off the charts.
Yeah. And I mean, I think people do truly underestimate how strong the Cars IP is in California Adventure. Like,
oh yeah.
Like, you know, we're talking about like the mechanical side of it, but then when you add in the fact that like this is the other thing too, is, you know, I didn't even think about this until just now, is that, you know, you're in a Cars car, which means the car has a personality to it. And the other part of it, you know, not just talking about the elements, but then also like, does your car react? Like, are you going to get different lines from the car that you're driving in, or like whatever the voices that is like, you know, overseeing the ride basically? Because there always is, like, you know, these rides always have like a like dialogue going through it, right? So then it becomes a thing of like, you know, not just the elements, but like, I'm sure it won't like vastly change whatever the story is of the ride, but you'll get like slightly different takes on it too, right? Like it's oh man.
Well,
yeah, I really need to see this ride.
Yeah, I know, right? How cool would it be if each car had its own voice and it's the car talking to you, right? It's not just like
it should be. Yeah.
It should, right? Yeah, you should absolutely have each car talking to you with a different voice.
Or there should be, like, this is one of those things, because they already did this with Guardians, where you have the different tracks depending on, you know, when you ride. And I mean, playing music is... but actually, no, it's still a separate audio track, and they still have to cue it and everything like that. There's nothing saying that you couldn't have 5 or 6 different voices or different characters running you through the ride, right? Like there doesn't have to be like one per car, but it could be like, you know, across, you know, depending on how you go through it. You get different voices. And then also, like, and, you know, further to that is, hey, you know, if we're overlapping things on top of things, you know, add in the technology from Star Tours that has the branching paths in Star Tours, where, you know, as you progress through the ride, maybe the you know, there is different sections where you just will never get the full, like, same interaction through the whole ride from the car that you're in. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, lots of potential here, both from the, like,
there better be talking cars. Like, that's all I have to say.
They have to be talking cars.
I mean, Radiator Springs had that. Like, your car wasn't talking, but like you were seeing all the characters through the ride, right? So maybe it'll be like that. But like, I really, there's so much potential to this.
I to your point about the strength of the Cars brand. I just was looking this up, right? As of the end of 2025, the Cars has sold $21.5 billion in between merchandise and the films. So like, just, and I know not everybody loves Cars. It's not everybody's favorite movie. The first one is very good. The second one is extraordinarily, I don't want to say polarizing even. I don't really know anybody that likes the second one.
I like the second one. My son grew up on Cars 1 and 2. And like, so we were in that sweet spot where he was like of that age that, Cars was very much a thing in our house. Like, we had, Radiator Springs Racers was like mind blowing to all of us. Like, my son was like, blown away. We were like, wow, like this is, because we had watched enough of it that we were like, okay, this is like bang on. The thing that I get about, or I get the polarization about Cars is that, I liked the characters in Cars. I know that, there's Tow Mater was voiced by Larry the Cable Guy. And I didn't realize this until like actually pretty recently that apparently depending on the age group you're in, like some people either really like Larry the Cable Guy and some don't. And and like that shouldn't matter. Like it's the problem of like there's a lot of Disney stuff where it's like, oh, people voiced it and whatever. And it's like, you don't have to like the person that voiced it, but it's like the product is still good. The end result is still good. And then that's the thing about Cars is that, I get some people don't like Cars, but I mean, there's a reason that the IP has done as well as it has. And there's a reason that it has one land and it's getting a second land. Right. And so, you can be like, oh, I don't know why they're putting Cars in Magic Kingdom. It's like if you don't know why, you honestly just haven't been paying attention. That's not to say that like you need to be like into it, but it's like you can acknowledge that something is good and famous and all that, and it's like, but you don't have to like it. Like there are so many things that and okay, you can come for me if you want. I've never watched Game of Thrones. I don't have any desire to watch Game of Thrones. I understand why it's famous, why it's popular. It's not for me, right? And so Cars doesn't have to be for you. You don't have to go to Piston Peak. Is all I'm saying.
You just leave it for the rest of us, right?
Yeah. Like I said, that was, I know that was a bit of an aside to, talking about this ride system and everything, but I mean, it's
all still relevant though. It's all still part of it. So
yeah. And I think again, back to the ride system and everything it's like, even if regardless of the IP of it, I am just excited to see what they do with it, right? Because there have been a lot of really cool creative ride systems coming out, and they're not all like it doesn't always have to be like fully like, oh, this is like unlike anything you've ever seen before. That the iterations on like roller coasters like Guardians, which I'm seeing now that there's a new Fast and Furious coaster,
which is the same,
that's using like the same kind of thing, which is like, hey, but it looks cooler. Like it
does, yeah.
It's like the next iteration of it, and then same thing with like some of the dark rides that again over time, going from Omnimovers to trackless rides, which not to say that trackless rides are inherently better, but it's different. It's that trying different things, which I think this ride system, is going to be different enough that I'll be curious if there's anybody actually like really hating on it when it comes out.
Like, if there is, I'll be like, want to drive, Well, but see, the thing is, the way this ride, this patent reads, this is much like when my daughter was on Tomorrowland Speedway and realized that she doesn't have to steer if she doesn't want to. Right? Mm-hmm. Like she literally just put her foot on the pedal and just let the car bounce off the rails. You can do the same thing in this. It's if you don't want to drive, the car will drive for you. If you want to drive, then you can. Yeah, that is true. I'm sure it'll be
Yeah, if you have somebody who's in the driver's seat that is afraid to drive or doesn't want to take that responsibility, I feel like the ride is still going to be enjoyable. I know I was saying, like, it's the selfish part of, like, I want to do these particular elements, right?
Yeah.
But really, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to matter as long as the ride overall is, like, good. It's the same thing as, like, Guardians. It's like, when I get on Guardians, I'm vying for one or two songs, but I'm actually good with anything because it's just a good ride.
So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the Fast and the Furious ride with the Guardians ride technology, they're just doing what Universal does and making everything faster and more extreme. It's
Yeah, but I don't think it's.
Do.
I mean, it is more extreme. Like, it does actually have inversions on it and stuff, which definitely is a step up from Guardians. But I like it. It still is. It's a cool iteration, and it's a smart way to use that technology.
Yeah, because you're trying to kind of emulate the whole drifting thing, and so that kind of works with that. So,
yeah,
anyway. Trevor, we were gonna do our ad after this next topic, but I feel like we've talked so much for the beginning of this already that we should probably do the ad and then get into that stuff.
Yeah, because this next part's going to be a little bit for sure.
Probably, yeah.
So
the sponsor of this week's episode is DVC Resale Market. DVC Resale Market, a Keyholder Vacations company, is the leader in the DVC resale industry with 13 former Disney Vacation Club guides and 3 former Disney Vacation Club quality assurance managers. If you're thinking of buying DVC, browse the largest selection of DVC resale listings anywhere with DVC experts on hand 7 days a week to answer your questions. If you're thinking of selling, turn to the friendly professionals at DVC Resale Market, where over 98% of listings sell within 30 days. In 2025, DVC Resale Market helped over 4,400 families join or add on to their memberships. Go to dvcresalemarket.com/welcome home or call 1-844-DVC-PROS. That's 1-844-382-7767. And when you speak to them, be sure to let them know that Welcome Home sent you. So outside of this, speculation we've been doing here, Trevor, and there's some actual real announcements that happened over the past couple days here that we got to get into because it's a lot of stuff.
We did kind of touch on it already that Cool Kid Summer is coming back.
Which we talked about already, and we talked about a lot of the things that are involved with this, but now we got some dates and we got some details. Yeah. Go ahead, Jeremy.
So I guess we're just going to go down the list. So we got this lovely Disney Parks blog entry. I don't know. I guess it's a
article.
What article? Post. Yeah, I guess post. Yeah, I don't know what the actual right term is, but but yeah. So starting at the very top is Bluey and Bingo coming to Disney's Animal Kingdom, which
we've known about.
Yeah, we've known about, but it is starting May 26th. So this goes back to what we were talking about with the VIP tours and how stuff kind of starts around Memorial Day
weekend.
Yeah, this is happening right at that time, and Bluey hitting Animal Kingdom. So the funny thing about this is. So where Bluey is going to be is you have to get on the Wildlife Express train and go over to the conservation station. That train is going to be so busy.
That train is never has been busy as it is going to be now.
Yeah,
it's going to be insane. And because listen, Bluey is like a huge phenomenon, right? Like this is not. Like, so them putting Bluey at Disney World and Disneyland is going to be extraordinarily popular. It's going to be huge. And, so they're also changing the little petting zoo. First of all, I love that area, by the way. I like taking that train ride, and I like going to Conservation Station. There's so much cool stuff over there. They always have the petting zoo. And then, we've gotten into many conversations, like long conversations with trainers, the animal trainers that work there. And they're just really cool to talk to. And then sometimes you can go in there and you can see animals getting medical procedures done, depending on when you go. Yeah. Which we've seen before, and is very, very cool to see this because it's literally just a big open window. We also, my wife and I did a tour one time there where we were actually in that room, and being on the other side of the glass is very unsettling.
I bet, yes.
It doesn't feel good. It feels like you're in the people zoo and you're the exhibit.
Yes.
But anyway, that's neither here nor there. But you can, I don't know if I don't know if they still do that tour or not, but that was one of my favorite tours we've ever done. But to your point, the Wildlife Express train will never have, has never had a line as long as it's going to have for this.
Yeah.
And,
so I guess prepare for that if you're planning to go in May, that, end of May, that, if it's suddenly incredibly busy at Animal Kingdom, that Bluey is there now.
It's going to be all about Bluey.
Yeah. And the other thing too, is they even, I'm actually curious how this is going to play out, because, a lot of the, the petting zoo is, they have a certain animals at the petting zoo.
Basically goats.
Yeah, but they talk about they say in here, even discover animals native to Bluey's home country, Australia, at Jumping Junction. So obviously that they're I mean they won't have kangaroos out that kangaroos in a petting zoo is a bad idea, but there are other animals native to Australia that are very cute, and that I wouldn't be surprised if you have trainers come out, because that was part of it too, is like you said, like there was the like petting zoo, but then they would have people come out with like an animal that a handler could keep on them, and so it wasn't like they weren't just like free roaming animals, but it was like you'd meet like a turtle or something like that, where you would be there with the handler, and I love those kinds of interactions, and I'm hoping that having Bluey there, because they're obviously representing Australia, you will see a lot of very cool Australia animals that you normally wouldn't get to see. I'm hoping that's the case. Like they're saying, they're talking about discovering animals. There may just be sometimes that's just like they'll have like the informational things, like kind of like museum stuff or things you would find at a zoo. But I'm hoping that there is more unique interactions on top of the Bluey and Bingo meet as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of really cool, animals that are indigenous to Australia. So, I mean, maybe they'll do like, I mean, I think wallabies are okay, right? Like wallabies won't mess you up, right? I don't think.
Have you ever seen a quokka?
I have not seen a quokka, but I just Googled this, and it's known as the happiest animal in the world. And
they are the cutest thing in the world.
That has to be AI. That's not real.
No, those are quokkas. I've seen Steve Irwin interact with those.
Oh my gosh. Quokka. Google it.
Yeah.
The cutest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That would be amazing if they had those. They're so cute.
Yes.
And you got wombats you can have. I don't know. Are wombats dangerous? I don't know. They got Tasmanian devils.
I don't think Tasmanian devils are. I mean, the name is very intimidating, but
I think it's a misleading thing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But again, there's lots of opportunities there for exposing Australian animals and culture and all that kind of stuff. And Bluey has just been a great ambassador of that. And, having it in the parks is going to be, I'm really going to be interested at how I'm predicting this now is, I'm going to look on Reddit that week and people are going to be like, what's with the wait times at Animal Kingdom? Because it won't just be Bluey, right? Like, there'll just be more people in Animal Kingdom because of Bluey. But then there'll be like these people that are puzzled, that don't know what's going on, will be like, why is it like a 3-hour wait for X in Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah. According to AI, so take this with a grain of salt. Animals that are indigenous to Australia that are appropriate for a petting zoo would be wallabies, the quokka things. Quokka, and then smaller kangaroo species like redneck wallabies. They're accustomed to human interaction and they're not dangerous. So, I mean, we don't know what we're going to see there, but if they're calling it Jumping Junction, it makes me feel like they're going to have some wallabies in there.
Yeah,
just going to throw it out there. But
yeah, I feel like you're right. There'll definitely be some emphasis on particular species. Yeah,
our local petting zoo has a wallaby petting zoo. So like our local zoo has one. So like if they're doing it, then I'm sure Disney could pull it off.
Yeah. All right, let's leave Animal Kingdom. So going down the list here, we're jumping over to Magic Kingdom now because
where are you going
here? Jesse's Roundup.
You skipped over Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live.
I'm just going down the list.
No, you don't. Well, maybe we're looking at different articles then, because
okay, I'm looking. I clicked on the first one, and
you're right. Okay, all right. That's weird. There's 2 articles about this that have the same stuff, and it's in different format, which is weird. But okay,
that is weird.
Continue.
So I'm at Jesse's Roundup. I don't know about you. This is at the Diamond Horseshoe in Magic Kingdom. They actually don't list.
There's no update on this. We already talked about this one.
Yeah, I was just looking. I thought that we were going to get a date on it, but okay, I guess
no date for that one.
So that's still happening at some point. So then let's jump over to Epcot. Because, hey, we haven't talked about Epcot enough.
Well, yeah, because we haven't talked about it nonstop.
Like we only talked about it yeah, exactly. But we're going to get Goofy Core at Communicore Hall, which Goofy Core sounds...
I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
We talked about this one already, though, too. But we don't have a date on this one either. But it looks fun.
It does, yeah. I'm very curious what Goofy Core looks like, because it's a lot of Goof Troop, and I think that's what they're trying to capture is bringing back the
whole Goof Troop thing.
Yeah, which I'm here for it. I love Goof Troop. It's a great show. So grew up on that.
But Disney Junior Mickey Mouse Clubhouse Live at Hollywood Studios, Trevor. We do have a date for that, May 26th.
Also May 26th. May 26th is a busy day.
Everything's happening May 26th except for Buzz Lightyear because they're doing that much earlier. But and we'll get into that in a minute. But they had that whole Disney Junior thing there, which I did one time. Wasn't a huge fan of it. Now, given it's not for me.
Yes, back to my earlier point about not everything is for everybody. Yeah,
no, I don't. My daughter may be too old for this at this point because she's Disney Junior is really towards much, more for the younger set. But she might still enjoy it too because she still likes all the characters and the songs and everything.
Yeah, I feel like Mickey Mouse Clubhouse is in that 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 kind of age range, or at least. For us, that was kind of where my son was at. I think by the time he was 5, he was completely done with it. But we had a little bit of a go around with Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. But same thing as I get it, great for people that are in that group that they can their kids enjoy it. But I would only go there if I was dragging my kid there, ironically, to punish him for something.
That's funny.
I would tell it, if something happened on a trip and I was like, fine, you know what, I'm not going to ruin this trip, but you're going to come sit through Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
Sit through Disney Junior, and you're going to like it.
my teenager has to sit there and I'm going to record you. I'm going to send it to your friend.
That's the real punishment is the proof of it.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip ahead, Trevor, because a lot of this stuff is stuff we talked about already that we don't have updates on. Right. So
I'm looking for dates
So, but what we do have, and I think is really big news is the reopening of Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. They do have a picture in here that I don't believe they've shown previously, which has these really cool I don't know, electrical wires or something going on there, and this whole emergency escape hatch. I don't remember seeing that before. That I don't think that was there.
I thought this looks like how I need to go back and look now at Buzz Lightyear. I feel like this was there, or it was. Maybe it wasn't labeled as escape hatch, but I remember this is at the very beginning of the ride.
I don't think it has the effects like this though.
I think the wiring is definitely new, but it's a static image. I don't know. I'm assuming this is very animated and moving and all that. So,
so Buzz Lightyear is going to be reopening on April 8th, and the thing that makes me the most mad about this day, Trevor, is that this is the day that I am getting off my cruise. And we were looking for something to do on that day before we go to Vero because we get you get off the ship super early in the morning, and you really kind of have the whole day there. So I'm just like, man, I wish we were going to go to Magic Kingdom that day because I could get on it. I could be one of the first people, on it. That'd be so cool.
Is Magic Kingdom the opposite direction from where you're going to Vero?
Yeah, because from Port Canaveral, it's kind of like, and Florida people are going to kill me for this because I'm probably misrepresenting this, but it's kind of like west from Port Canaveral, and to go to Vero, I just basically go due south. So I'm going in the opposite direction that I need to go. Now, that being said, the distance from Magic Kingdom to Vero is not that far. It's like, I think it's like an hour and a half, 2 hours. So it's not like a huge deal if we were to do that. I think at this point, though, that there's a 0% chance that I'm convincing my wife to do this. So, like, I don't think it's going to happen. I mean,
so here I'm just looking at Google Maps right now, and I'm just trying to figure out how you could accidentally get lost.
It's 2 hours from Magic Kingdom to Vero, which is not bad. I can do that. That's easy,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see that. But then going to Vero. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I mean, from Port Canaveral, it's not that far either. So,
it's totally the opposite direction.
It is. It really is. So, yeah, it's straight west from Port Canaveral, basically, and then you have to go like southeast to get from Magic Kingdom to Vero. But listen, I wanted to do the parks. I was trying to get the parks done, and I was very much told no on that. So, it is what it is. I like how, Trevor, you're just gonna be like, I'll just start driving and hope my wife doesn't notice where we're going, and they'll be like, surprise, we're going to Magic Kingdom for the day. Listen,
sorry.
I
okay, so I do this.
Yeah,
like legitimately, this happens to me where I have certain routes that I drive going to work because of how my work is I have different clients that I go to. So it's like when I'm going to a client site, I will take it like a particular road, and I don't think about it because I do it so much.
Oh yeah, you just gotta do it.
But then if my wife and I are going somewhere and it's like near one of the places that I have to go to, it'll be like I'll be driving and I'll just like autopilot like I'm going here, and then my wife will suddenly be like, "Where are you going?" And I'll be like, "Oh shoot, we're not going to my office. We're going somewhere," and so I have to like snap myself out of autopilot. Like you could.
She would notice.
I feel like you could totally make an argument for.
She would.
What do you mean we drove for 2 hours on autopilot?
No, there's no way I can pull this off.
Come on, I'm trying to help you, Tom.
See, here's the thing. I would try to pitch this if we weren't going with another family, right?
Fair, yeah.
It's really because we're going with the other family. Like, if we weren't going with the other family, I would be like, "Hey, you want to do this?" And my wife would probably still say no, but at least I could ask. But let's get back to Buzz Lightyear anyway. But so brand new ride vehicles, and we talked about this on the Deborah Danielle episode, even though we were talking about Epcot. We did talk about the fact that they finally replaced these ride vehicles. Now, the last ones that they had were the original ride vehicles from when Magic Kingdom opened, right? So that's how old they were. So the fact that we're getting new ones is great. But also, lots of upgrades here. No more stiff plastic button with, a laser that only sometimes works. And I don't know if you've ever gotten this before, but I had, we used to have the car sometimes that would, like, the little spin joystick was screwed up. So it just like jitter, basically.
Yep. The gear was stripped, so you couldn't actually turn. Yeah.
But now the laser guns are free. You can actually like take them out and hold them, so they're not attached to the vehicle anymore.
They're like Disneyland. The Disneyland one's like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and the targets actually react and light up when you hit them. The laser is always on, so it's not a situation where it's just when you hit it, it turns on. And there's new sound and vibration effects, and then of course this new character Buddy. But the one thing they didn't talk about before, Trevor, that I'm like really pumped for actually is the new on-ride photo, which includes your score and the total targets hit and the total special targets hit. I love this because I always felt like the Buzz Lightyear ride photo was kind of silly to have there, right? Like it's just you're concentrating on shooting stuff, right? And so it became kind of a thing with my wife and I, where every time we're on it, I always make a really dumb face. Like I try to find like a dumb face I hadn't made before, you know?
You limit yourself to Buzz Lightyear for doing that? Because
No,
I do that
I
on
could
like
do it for
every
most
ride.
things,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
especially this one. Like, so I
Yeah.
do it on this one, and then I also do it on Haunted Mansion. Like, so, but Haunted Mansion is usually like I'm trying to make like a really weird scared face, and then on this, I'm just trying to make a dumb face. But now, like, you have a record you can take with you of how much you either, beat the people you're with, or they beat you. Now, when I showed this to my wife earlier, she said, "Oh, good. So we'll always have a record of how badly I beat you." Which, she's trash talking already. I mean,
yeah. So my wife would the equivalent statement would be, "Oh, so now I can see how bad you were cheating," because she assumes that
okay.
every time I do well at these things that I'm cheating. So
I see.
yeah,
Okay.
so I'll have a record of how I cheated her out of a win on Buzz Lightyear.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I know. Like we used to get really. I mean, here's the weird thing: is for some reason my wife beats me a lot in Buzz Lightyear, but I always destroy her in Toy Story Midway Mania. Like I always destroy her in that one, and she's like better at this one for some reason. I don't know why, but I mean, it's not to say I don't win on this one. I do, but my wife also has gotten, the Galactic Hero. She's gotten all the way to 99999, and which I've never done. Now, this is interesting, Trevor, because there was like a whole cottage industry around like how to get the maximum score in Buzz Lightyear. I'm pretty sure that's gone. Like this is all going to be new. I think.
Oh yeah,
scoring and everything.
All of those videos will be invalid. That had all the tips. Although one thing I'm going to be curious about is how there will be throwbacks. There will be like, the back of the robot hand was, one I remember from like knowing back in the 90s even, that, I have to wonder if they'll put a couple of them in as like nods to things. But yeah, you're right. There'll be a whole new set of scoring and I do find it interesting that they list out special targets.
I kind of like that though, because it's like, yeah, I just like the stats that are there.
Yeah, but then now I'm going, okay, what qualifies as a special target?
Well, that'll be the next one, right? Is what are the special targets?
Yeah. This again goes down into that whole rabbit hole of like, like I talked about with the Piston Peak thing, is like figure out like the meta for how to like optimize the ride, right?
Yeah, exactly.
This is exactly the ride for that though. I'm excited to see when people actually get to ride this, and I'm sad that you won't be able to day one.
Listen, but I might still bring it up. We'll see.
There's hope still. I mean,
we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I will take accountability for influencing you on this one.
Oh, so. No, I hadn't even thought about it until I saw that date, and I was like, I just happened to be in that area on that date with nothing to do.
Yeah, but you blamed me for planning the trip in the first place. And so if you end up at Magic Kingdom, then I guess it's my fault.
No, I won't blame you for this. Now, the other interesting thing in here, Trevor, is they mentioned Big Thunder Mountain's reopening, but they don't give an actual date. They just say early May, which is kind of funny.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Like, is there some doubt about when, like,
I feel like that means that there's some little piece that's not finalized yet.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe just give them a little bit of leeway or something. I don't know.
Now, what about, I know Smuggler's Run is kind of a weird thing for me, that like it was a good ride, but they're doing this Mandalorian Grogu update, which is happening May 22nd. So again, everything's happening in May besides Buzz Lightyear.
At least this one's like a week. Is like before everything else for some reason. Who knows?
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting that like they're doing a whole, or it's a new story thing. Now, I guess the one thing I was never clear on with these is this it'll just be the new Mandalorian Grogu thing from now on, or will they go back and forth? Yeah.
It doesn't really. It says new gameplay. I don't know. Maybe this is just the way going forward. I mean, listen, I like the fact that they're updating it, because it's like they did with Star Tours. I wish they would do this with Midway Mania. Like, I don't know why they don't. Like, there's no reason for them not to. It's
right.
as easy as, in fact, it's probably easier than doing that.
I have to wonder, Midway Mania, though, is a very specific like game system and all that.
Yeah.
And it really has some limitations to it. And I guess actually, yeah, now that I'm reading this, it makes sense that it's probably just going to be the Grogu thing going forward, because they said the new gameplay editions have the engineers communicating directly with Grogu during the mission. I know that was based on feedback that
that'd be a thing.
If you rode Smuggler's Run and you got the engineer seats, they were the most boring seats. And the funny thing was, the way I saw it phrased was, you'll be looking out the front of the ride, like you're watching the action, and the ride would deliberately take your attention away from that to push a button, which is like counterintuitive to like how you it's actually making the ride worse.
Yeah,
because they're distracting you from the ride.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
It seems like they're trying to fix that, but that's coming in May. And
let's blow through the next couple, because we got so much other stuff to talk about. So the Walt Disney Studios Courtyard is going to open on May 26th. Now that is the new area where like Star Wars Launch Bay was, but they're not opening the inside stuff until later in the summer. So the Courtyard will be there, the new Disney Junior show, but the rest of it will be later on.
Yeah. I think we don't have a lot left. The last one that actually is Soarin'. So Soarin' Across America comes May 26th as well. Man, May is.
I was gonna say, you never believe what date it's gonna be happening, Trevor. May 26th.
That's gonna be such a crazy week. Holy.
Yeah. May 20. It's all Tuesdays too, which is weird, but okay.
I mean, I'm okay with that. I don't mind being there on a Tuesday.
It's like a random Tuesday, I usually it's the day after. I think it's the day after Memorial Day, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. So that's probably the intent is, get through the long weekend, and then, here's a bunch of new stuff for those that stayed past the long weekend.
Memorial Day is May 25th. So everything's happening the day after Memorial Day. So but listen, this is a lot of new thing. Like, it's not new stuff, but it is new stuff, and it's all happening at the same time. And there's still more to come. There's still more things that are happening. So these are great updates. And I mean, listen, Rock and Roller Coaster's now closed and being revamped, and the rumors on that are it's going to be a fairly quick reskin of it. So hopefully that'll open fairly soon too.
Yeah. All right. Do we want to? We have a quick Disneyland update. I guess. Do we want to just touch on that?
Bluey at Disneyland?
Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't know who cares about Bluey, but we just finished talking about that for
literally everyone.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
You'll never believe what week this is opening, Trevor. March 20. No, just kidding. March 22nd.
20. Yeah, no, this is actually happening in March.
It's happening in March. So this is actually happening next week. Bluey's Best Day Ever, which is the new Bluey show that's over at Disneyland, is going to be opening, like I said, next week. What I really enjoyed about reading through this was that, so Bluey and Bingo are going to be on the stage at set times throughout the day. Of course, there's going to be a show. And for those that watch Bluey and know the references here, I was talking to my daughter about this morning, actually. So it says extra laughs, playful surprises, a little bit of delightful chaos are added when Bluey and Bingo are joined on stage by beloved characters from the show, Chattermax, Unicorse, and Grannies. So I just, first of all, Chattermax and Unicorse, but if you guys haven't watched, Bluey, if you have, you know what I'm talking about. Unicorse is like probably the funniest part of one of the funniest things on Bluey. And then Grannies are up there too. Everybody loves the Granny thing. So
the Granny, I've seen on clips, the Granny stuff is very, very funny.
Unicorse is hilarious too, though, Trevor. If you don't know Unicorse, I mean, it's Bluey and Bingo's dad doing a sock puppet, and it's really, really funny, and it's one of my favorite parts of it. So, but also they're going to do games. They're going to throw balloons out in the crowd. They're going to do like Keepy Uppy. They're going to have they're going to do Barky Boats, which is like basically like just like little boat racing kind of thing. It says favorite games by racing Barky Boats on an imaginary waterway. So I don't know what that's going to be like, but I guess we'll find out. We'll get to the other stuff in this, Trevor, in the other part of what we're going to talk about. But but this is cool. This is great. I was talking to my daughter about this morning, and she was just like, "Oh, I want to do this." Especially when we talked about the food. When she saw the food, she lost it. Like she was like,
we'll come back to that in another segment that we have coming up.
You know what? Let's forget about this Winnie the Pooh. No, we can't forget about Winnie the Pooh.
It's the 100th anniversary of Winnie the Pooh.
I know we can't just gloss over Winnie the Pooh, right?
Yeah.
Or can we?
Yeah. I mean, we can a little bit. It's Winnie the Pooh is cool. It was. Did you know it's actually a Canadian, or it was. The name Winnie was based on a Canadian town of Winnipeg.
I did not know that. No,
or city. I shouldn't call it town. Winnipeg is
city. Yeah,
yeah, it's a city, or it is a city now. But that was the name of Winnie. Was the original bear that it was based on was there's a whole thing on, or I'll have to find you the clip of it. But it's like a Canadian history thing where like Winnie the Pooh was started because of a bear named Winnie.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's a whole bunch of 100th anniversary Winnie the Pooh merch.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to go through it, but I'll put the link out there. But there's some really cool stuff in here if you're a Winnie the Pooh fan. There's some really like neat like bags and like shirts, and I know there's my daughter, her favorite character, but besides Donald Duck is her favorite, but second favorite would be Eeyore. So anything with Eeyore on it, she's all about it. So yeah, go check that out because I want to talk about these last two things. So Trevor, this episode we're gonna debut a new show segment that I'm calling Food Time Bites. Okay. And so these are food things that are small enough that we're not going to do a whole Food Time episode about it, but we want to talk about them anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this will be quick, but I don't know if
you say quick, but
well, I mean, I don't think there's good. Roll. Okay, the two on here,
but there are not a lot on them. So yeah.
Yeah. So the first one is we have the new Takumite spring menu at Epcot, which I don't think we're going to talk about this very long because I don't think Tom likes a lot of this stuff.
This is a really cool restaurant that I had never checked out, but it's a 2-hour dining experience. Have you ever done this one, Trevor, or no?
No, I mean I would like to. But like you said, it's a 2-hour dining experience, and I mean,
how do you say that? Omakase.
Where are you in the article?
What the dining experience is called?
Yes. Yeah. That's or as it says, it means leave it to the chef. So you don't get to pick the or you basically pick like different menus of items, and they bring you out courses of these items. So,
but you don't pick anything. They just you trust the chef.
Yes, exactly, and that is very much a thing in Japan. There's lots of restaurants that do it this way, which. For a lot of people that can be very if you don't have a very broad palate for food, this can be very terrible.
Who are you talking about, Trevor?
I don't know, Tom. I don't know who I'm talking about, Tom.
It's also where shush. It's also worth noting, by the way, that this is probably the most expensive meal that you can buy at Epcot, which is $250 per adult. For the full for all of the courses, what is it? 10 courses, I think. Where's the?
I thought it was a 4 or 7 were the two options.
Oh, I thought it was a 10 course. My bad. Yeah. So,
hold on, let me. Yeah, it's a 7 course. Okay, so yeah, this is a 7 course.
My bad. Okay. So it's 7 courses, but I mean, listen, 7 courses you get for $250. It's an experience. It's like going to Victoria and Albert's, right? It's kind of the same thing, except with the Japanese flair to it, right?
Yes, exactly. And actually, looking at it, it looks like the first course you actually get to pick. Or there's 3 different options, it looks like, but then everything after that is like, this is what you're getting. But I mean, I feel like the looking at the first course, you have a choice between sea bream, which is kombu cured Sakura style, kombu cured Sakura style accented with edible gold leaf. So this is like seaweed.
Yeah.
Lightly fried tofu with a silken white miso broth, which I love miso. So that sounds great. And then there's a salmon roe and spring vegetables, which none of these Tom is eating.
Correct. Yeah. This is Tom is going elsewhere. Tom's going to Viennapoli, which for some reason Depp or Danielle made faces about. I didn't elaborate on.
There seems to be some history there.
Maybe someone could tell me. I don't know, but yes, no, I'd be going there. My wife would be eating this by herself.
But hey, the tofu with miso would be my choice. So
okay.
Yeah.
Listen, this looks all very fancy. I mean, there's a second course
looks like
clams and mackerel. Ugh.
Yeah,
but this looks like a $250 dinner.
Yes, this is super fancy.
It is.
I'm just scrolling through the courses to see like what kind of we got flounder or it's a lot of fish. So
that's my problem. Some Wagyu.
Yeah, and it's all like small samplings. Like the whole point of this is like you're getting a whole bunch of flavors. Like you're not going in there getting like a big slab of fish. These are like individual bites that you're getting in each course.
I've only once in my life done a meal where it's been like like one of those 7-course kind of things. It is fun to do because, like you said, it's like small bites of things. But also, like if you eat something that you really like, you're kind of like, I kind of want more of that.
I want more of that. Yeah,
But it is. Really
I'm looking at the 5th course. There is Wagyu.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's Wagyu.
Yeah. So if you can get as far as the 5th course, you can get Wagyu.
But I'm going to be hungry at that point though, because I will have not eaten anything up until then. I don't think.
But then, what is this on the? Oh, there's the little origami thing.
It's the rice course. The 6th course
on the rice course. On the 6th course, I'm just
pressed eel sushi and shredded egg atop Japanese sasho pepper and a spinach and silken tofu in a red miso soup.
Yum.
I don't know what this little leaf box is though. What is that?
It just looks like how it's served. Or
is it that? Is it what I just read? Okay.
Yeah, and then but then also it has the little origami hat, which is a keepsake.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks very, very delicate for sure.
I would eat some dessert here. I got strawberry baked cheesecake, like a strawberry. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'd eat it still.
So that would be daifuku.
Okay.
Which, it's. I know it could be read another way. But
see, Trevor. My mind didn't even go there. Okay.
But
I just didn't even want to try it for the to not screw it up. But I mean, listen, I do dessert here.
Lots of strawberry. Actually, that's something to point out too. Is that this is a spring menu, which makes sense that the sakura and strawberry flavors are very prominent in Japan for spring. So
you should know with this kind of experience that the menu will change constantly based on what is seasonal. So this is the menu now, but this is going to change as the seasons move on. So
exactly.
Which is kind of what makes it cool, honestly.
Yeah.
So,
I would definitely sit down and do this if I my problem is kind of the opposite of yours, that your wife and I would hang out and do this, but my wife would be with you, where she would be like, there's nothing here that I want to eat except for like course 6. So not even course 6.
We do a wife swap where you take my wife to this and I would take your wife to this.
You guys could go hang out near Mexico or something. I don't know. We would be gone doing this for like 2 hours. So
the other thing though, to go back to what we talked about before, and is there anything else you want to talk about with this?
That's cool though. I appreciate that is definitely something we wouldn't have covered in a regular food time.
Exactly.
So so I'm glad we got to do that.
Yeah, because these are mini bites. So but along with the opening of the Bluey stuff at Disneyland. And I'm going to assume we're going to get the same thing at Disney World, Trevor, but because that one's a little bit further away still, we probably don't have this information yet. But they're doing themed beverages and food for Bluey, which are awesome looking.
Yes. But I feel like they finally took the hint of like, the themed food you see in the Asian parks is starting to make an appearance here.
Yeah.
And, it's obviously all Bluey centric, but man, so
let's start off.
The very first thing is the Pizza Girl's baked potato and the Troubadour baked potato. Like,
Forget about the Troubadour one. The Pizza Girls one just looks insane.
They both look really good, honestly, for different reasons. And I'll be honest, I've been on a bit of a baked potato kick lately, like because like places like Wendy's and stuff offer
they always have it.
And like I normally wouldn't think about it, but it's like, I could go for a baked potato. Yeah, this is a loaded.
Yeah, we didn't even read. So the Pizza Girls baked potato is pepperoni. And the good pepperoni too, the one that curls, right?
The crispy ones.
Oh, that's the best ones. Yeah. So pepperoni, sausage, bacon bits, marinara, mozzarella, Alfredo sauce, and Parmesan herb topper. It looks so good.
And then
it also looks like I'd have I'd have chest pains after eating it.
Yeah. You need to walk a lot to get
burn that one off. Yeah,
and then I guess this is a classic one is the Troubadour baked potato, which is butter, sour cream, cheese, bacon bits, and green onions. So if you don't, the Pizza Girls one is extra. Yeah. You can dial it down and just get the Troubadour baked potato if you want.
You could, yeah, and we talked about this. I don't know, a couple weeks ago, where Disneyland mentioned they were going to do this kids meal that's like cheap or whatever, is like $5.99, and I'm pretty sure that's what this is, this last item, which is, but I didn't realize it was going to be a mini hot dog. So it's a mini all beef hot dog served with the Cuties Mandarin orange, applesauce, and a choice of water or milk. But it's a little tiny hot dog.
So tiny.
It is so tiny. Yeah. Which is perfect for kids, it's great.
Yeah, I need like 3 of these, but
I know.
Yeah, it's cute. I like it. Exactly that is, they're realizing that, the kids menu needs to be appealing to kids, and kids don't want to eat a foot long hot dog.
Listen, when I was a kid,
most kids think they can eat a foot long hot dog, but most kids cannot eat a foot long hot dog. So yeah, this is a good starting place. And you can order multiples.
Yeah. And the really themed stuff that they're getting into, Trevor, are these next things, which the first one, if you know Bluey, you know this. There's an episode of Bluey where they're at like a almost like a flea market kind of situation, Trevor. And there's a guy walking around going, "Poffergies," and that's what they actually did them.
What's a poffergie? That's what these are, poffergies?
Yeah. Okay. And mini Dutch pancakes topped with buttered condensed milk and powdered sugar. They look like little beignets almost, but I think they're different. But it's a whole thing in that episode, and the fact that they actually made them. When I told my wife that, and that's why they have exclamation points, Trevor, because that's the guy's walking around yelling it. Yeah. And when I told my wife this morning that they were doing that, she was like, "No way!" She's like, "That's so cool." But so those are good. But the next thing I think is the coolest of all of it. So the next one is the magic asparagus pretzel. Now, Trevor, you're probably like, why is this a thing, right? Because I
know of the asparagus it was like a magic wand.
That's right.
In one episode, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yes. So it was. It's a magic wand. And so what is amazing about this piece, Trevor, though, is that it's a pretzel rod coated in white chocolate, but it really looks like a piece of like a cartoon asparagus.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks like it could be almost like a toy, like something you would see in like a kid's play set.
It doesn't look real. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which, it looks like made of plastic, awesome. Which I don't know if that's a good compliment for it, but
yeah. I mean that's I guess a little dangerous, but hey, pretzel coated in white chocolate. Yeah, actually, I do have pretzels coated in chocolate.
Yeah, who doesn't want that?
Makes
That's
sense.
delicious. Here's the problem with this though, is that every kid that gets this is going to want to be like waving it around and you're using it as a magic wand, but it's made of chocolate and you're holding it in your hand.
Pretzel,
it's going to melt in your hand,
or it's going to snap because it's a pretzel and it's not gonna. Yeah.
But listen, if they have I'm sure there's going to be accompanying merch as well. I don't think we've seen that yet, but there's going to be merch. It's Disney. There's going to be merch. So, they already have some Bluey merch and stuff like that, but they're going to have separate stuff like this. But this is just cool. This is just really awesome.
This is very Australian, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The pavlova parfait.
Oh, yeah. So the pavlova is a whole thing on the show as well. Again, they're really referencing the show, and also just the way this even looks is so colorful and bright, and looks like it belongs in a cartoon.
It's a pavlova,
but just the way, and it's a pavlova parfait, right? So it's meringue bites, vanilla yogurt mousse, berry compote, vanilla cake, fresh berries, and candied kiwi. Again, these are all, it's references to the show, right? It's so Bluey to do that. And then last but not least is a watermelon ice block. It's basically just a watermelon ice pop. It looks like a watermelon slice.
See, I'm there for that because I usually get the strawberry ice pops because I don't do the Mickey head, but watermelon, regardless of the show, I hope that this becomes a regular thing, right? Like I get it's referring to the show, but it's like, can I just have this anytime, please?
These might be off the shelf too, because I feel like I've seen these before, so I don't know if they. Yeah,
this looks like something I've seen off of an ice cream truck. Honestly, it's which is not bad. Like,
no, it's not bad at all.
It's very. It's made to look like a slice of watermelon on a ice cream pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, on the less themed side of things is a mud cake cold brew for the adults. Fine. Just some Joffreys with malted milk topper, fudge brownie bits, and sprinkles. That probably has about 300 grams of sugar in it, which is fine.
Don't care.
Okay.
I'm not really a cold brew person, so that's nothing. The next one though,
I would get this.
This is the lime ice block drink, which is pineapple limeade, coconut milk, and then the watermelon ice block that we just talked about is stuck in it. Yeah. But oh man, pineapple lime,
dude,
coconut,
I would get that.
Watermelon. Oh yeah, this is peak summer here.
That sounds delicious. Yeah, I would absolutely get that. I'm not a huge coconut person, but coconut milk is fine with me. And I'm not really huge into pineapple, but I do like pineapple. Like the flavor of pineapple is fine. I don't like the actual feeling of a pineapple. I'm very much a mouthful kind of person, but. So the flavor of pineapple with limeade and then the coconut milk and then that watermelon ice block you just leave in there to melt. Kind of love it. It's non-alcoholic too. So it is a kid's drink. So yeah.
I'm not sharing this with my kid though.
Well, you might have to buy a separate one for him.
Yeah, he can get his own. That's fine. Yeah. I don't care. I'm having mine.
And then we have Disneyland does what they do and is having a sipper, a Bluey sipper. This is going to be very popular. I can tell already. Yes. And you can also see the fact that they're already saying limit 2 per person. It's just Bluey. And, really, if you want to think about this, it's not great that Bluey's just sitting on top of my drink cup, but that's fine. It's cool looking and my kid's not really going to think that way. Or she might actually.
But this is, you remember we were talking about sippers. I think it was a couple of weeks ago that, the cup being separate from the actual sipper thing, this is it's sitting on top of the cup, but this is perfect because you can actually take it off, you can wash the cup, and then you can put it back on, and it's minimal having to mess with it, right?
Exactly.
This is how they should be doing sippers, in my opinion.
This is the ideal sipper because, you said, it's easily cleanable and it's still cool looking. It's still they have the entire all of Bluey sitting on top of it. And
Bluey all the way down.
Yeah. And I when I was working on the rundown for the show, my daughter saw that and she's like, "Oh, that's so cool." And I'm like, and I just in a moment of parental stupidity was like, "I will get that for you. I don't know how, but I will get it." So yeah, I'm just I will get it because she will love it, and I can't not do it. So I'll get it somehow. I'll get one, but yeah,
All right.
I just cool.
Okay, so moving on. This next one, I've seen this episode.
Stumpfest.
The Stumpfest cake, which is a chocolate roulade with a white chocolate mousse and ganache, and the outside is painted up very pretty, like they
very rainbowy.
Yeah, because they had the whole stump painted up, and it's got the flower on it and everything. Very cool. I like the
nothing fancy on that one, right?
Yeah,
but it's cool.
The thing is that it's not like it's the reference, but it's not overstated, right?
Agreed,
like it doesn't always have to be over the top, but it's like, oh yeah, I get what they're doing there, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Trevor, the popcorn bucket, which is and when I say popcorn bucket, it's not like the fancy popcorn buckets. It's the popcorn bucket that you buy that you can refill. It's like the ones that usually just have Disney characters on it. This one has all of the Bluey characters on it. And again, when I saw this, my daughter was like, I want that, because we have a bunch of the popcorn buckets, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they had, when we were on the last cruise, they had some of the popcorn buckets that designs from the parks on the ship. So I'm like crossing my fingers that maybe they have this. It's going to be hard. Again, it's going to be hard to get this one. This is going to be one that's going to sell out. It's going to be another one of those things that people are really trying to get. It's basically the whole family sitting in the living room, and my favorite character, Muffin, is shoving popcorn in her face because Muffin is the greatest. So I think everybody, Muffin's the best. I love Muffin. So Muffin's doing what Muffin does on this popcorn bucket. But again, this is one that I really would like to try to get. Now, this one does say a limit of 10 per person, which feels excessive.
10. What are you doing with 10 popcorn buckets?
Reselling them on eBay.
Yeah, be honest.
That's the only thing you're doing with 10 popcorn buckets is reselling them on eBay. Unless you're like a grandmother that has a bunch of grandkids, maybe.
No, you're not. That's not actually happening. Don't kid yourself.
Well, you're right. But listen, I think if this is an early, because this is probably not the end of this, Trevor. This is just what they're starting with, right? And I think if this is any indication of the theming that or the accompaniments, let's say, they're doing for Bluey, this is going to be great. I fully expect that Disney World will do the same thing, and maybe it will be slightly different, or maybe it'll be the same. But typically, Disneyland, Disney World don't do the same thing with this kind of stuff. So
that's true. But I would hope with the popularity of it, I wouldn't be surprised. And again, this is me thinking, they're doing everything with timing and whatnot. I wouldn't be surprised if, we have the stuff going to Animal Kingdom first. I wouldn't be surprised if they start making moves in Hollywood Studios after they're done some of the other pieces that they're building already in Hollywood Studios. I would be surprised if you start seeing Bluey stuff there at some point, because I can't think of anywhere else where you could really put like a stage show or anything.
I mean, listen, you could all you have to do is replace the Beauty and the Beast show at the Hollywood Studios.
Oh, you're gonna make somebody angry.
Emma, listen, okay. Yeah. Let me say this really quick, and I don't want to offend anybody on this. Okay, I've seen that Beauty and the Beast show a couple times. It's not bad, but I don't think it's Disney quality anymore. And
right,
and part of the reason is that show is way too short. They shove that entire story. The story is so truncated that it doesn't make sense. like it makes no, literally Belle falls in love with the Beast the second she meets him in that show. Immediately, because there's no time for them to develop it, right? And it makes no sense. So when I saw Beauty and the Beast on the Treasure, so there's a Beauty and the Beast show on the Treasure. That's what I expect from Beauty and the Beast. The problem is my bar has been raised, Trevor. Okay, my bar has been raised after seeing the Beauty and the Beast show on the Treasure, because it was so good and so well done, and it gave the time to develop things in a way that made sense. I understand why they can't do that in Hollywood Studios, but listen, that show's been there a long time. Maybe it's just time to move on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. I feel Hollywood Studios is in a state of flux right now, and things like that do need to go away. I think I agree. I think Bluey going into Hollywood Studios would make sense based on everything we're seeing here. The fact that
they're hyping it up so much in Disneyland, I would not be surprised if you've got people, saying, "Great, now when are you doing Florida?" Right? So
yeah, well, I mean, but they're doing Florida. They're doing the
well, no,
yeah,
the conservation station. Again, the problem with it is that it's very
isolated.
limited. It's isolated. They're going to. I think they're going to realize quickly that they've cracked open a floodgate, and they're going to need to do more, sooner than later. So
I mean, probably because it is incredible. I mean, like I said, Bluey has been for I think the past 3 years now the most streamed thing on streaming. Like literally, like I mean, I don't know if it was. I mean, I think it was the most streamed TV show. So I don't know if that was up to date since like Stranger Things came out or something like that. But if it even beats Stranger Things, like that tells you what kind of phenomenon it is.
I feel like it is different because like people watch through shows like Stranger Things once,
yeah,
and don't go back and watch it. The thing about Bluey is like in households like with kids, those shows are on repeat all day. Like, I was, when my kid was younger, there was certain shows that was like, okay, we're running this all day. Like it's, yeah. So yeah, Bluey is in a different league than even something like Stranger Things.
So Bluey was number 1 in 2025 with 45 billion minutes streamed. And that was more than Stranger Things at 39 billion minutes. Like they beat them by 6 billion minutes.
I mean, to be fair, the fact that Stranger Things was at the end of the year and got that close is pretty impressive.
But a lot of people probably did rewatches up until then because it had been such a gap. I mean, I know we did. Yeah. We watched the second to last season again just to catch up, right? But yeah, I mean, Bluey has been killing it in streaming for many years now, and the fact that they still. Yeah, because they were number 1 in 2024 at 55 billion minutes. I mean, they've just been dominating. It's insane, and it's not just Australia. It is everywhere.
I know. I see it. Even though I don't have kids in that age gap, like I said, I see it all the time. It's you see clips of it. I have friends with younger kids, and it's like, oh yeah, like you can't help but. It's the same thing we said earlier about like cars. It's like even if you're not into it, it's like you can't help but acknowledge like it's
popular.
It's insane, right?
Yeah,
and like I said, I've seen some of I've sat down and watched some of the episodes, and I get why it is as popular as it is. Like it's a very well done show.
It's hilarious,
and
honestly.
There are definitely jokes that are targeted at the parents as much as the kids, and I get the bandit, her dad.
Yeah.
It's like I see where it's like, there's a lot of dad jokes in there, and I can appreciate that.
Oh, 100%. So I'm a little surprised it took Disney this long to really capitalize on it, but now that they are, I think they're going to get a straight up attendance boost from these Bluey things. I mean, it's not going to be like opening a new park kind of thing, but it will be busier just because of this.
I think, I know you say I'm surprised they didn't get on it sooner. There is something to be said for not rushing things like this.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it was the same thing with Frozen. It took them years to get Frozen really into things,
Yeah. And like looking at like the food and the shows and everything coming from it, like you can see, like, as we were talking about, like, hey, the way that these things are themed, even though this Stump Fest cake, it's like, it's not complicated, but somebody put some thought into it.
Oh yeah,
like it's not just like let's just slap the Bluey chocolate piece on it and call it good. Like somebody put some thought into it. So I appreciate and I applaud that for sure.
All I'm going to say is they better be running multiple trains for the Wildlife Express train. Like I hope someone
can they do that? I didn't think.
Oh yeah, they can. Yeah,
because I thought it was just like it goes one, like it's one track going there and back, right?
It actually is a loop. So there is a loop that goes all the way around.
Oh, is there? Oh.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they need to. They can't just have that one train by itself. So
the line will just it'll be out of this world for sure, or at least that first week.
Yeah. According to Wikipedia, they do have 3 trains. So if they just need to run all 3 of those trains.
All right.
They have to.
Yes.
I mean, it's going to be too crazy not to. So.
Yeah, I would not want to be standing there waiting for that train. Like that's.
No. Yeah. I've waited a long time for that train before, but I also always suspected they were just running like one or two trains. But
yeah. I mean, in the off season it is definitely like, or I guess like I've stood there like for maybe 5 minutes, but like it gets hot out there too. So
yeah, that's why my wife hates going to Animal Kingdom, because she always claims it's like the hottest park, which I don't.
It's very humid. I think that's the thing. Is it's more. I know Florida is generally humid, but Animal Kingdom is more humid than other areas of Disney.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's wrap it up. There's a lot of good news this week, man. Really cool.
That was quite a lot that we
great stuff though. Yeah. Exciting stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Looking forward to it, right? And I guess hey, the first thing is coming up here like we have a few things happening in March and like Buzz Lightyear in April. So
I mean, the Bluey stuff starts at Disneyland in a week here. So
yeah, wow, that's How is it already like middle of March?
I don't know, Trevor. I don't know where the time has gone.
Yeah. So okay, well, I guess we should probably start wrapping this up though, so we can, I can reminisce about this again in April when a month has gone by and I don't know what happened there either.
You don't know how that happened so fast.
Yeah. So, I guess, to start with, as usual, if you guys, have any questions about anything we talked about on the show, or you want to share your thoughts, or, share a trip report, anything like that, you can always find us at welcomehomepodcast@gmail.com. And, like I said, we like hearing from you guys. You can also find us through our website, which is welcomehomepodcast.co. There's a contact us option in there that takes you to the email address. So, you can always find us through those two avenues. We are also on social media. You can find us on Facebook as Welcome Home Podcast, YouTube as Welcome Home Podcast, and Instagram as Welcome Home Pics. And make sure you check out our group on Facebook, Welcome Home Disney Waitlist, where, we do talk about stuff from the show. There is, and just general Disney talk. It's a good place to share your things about, your own trip reports and all that kind of stuff. We also have a store if you want to help support the show. So you can go to store.welcomehomepodcast.co and check out our different merch that we have available for the store. And if there's something that you would like to see added to the store, drop us a line, let us know, and we can look into adding more stuff to the store. We're trying to get stuff out there that, we think people would like, but we'd also like to hear from you what kind of stuff you would like to see as well. In that same vein, we also have a Patreon that you can support the show through. So patreon.com/welcomehomepod. And all of our Patreon supporters get a exclusive logo that you can only get on our Patreon merch. And you also get access to the Discord server, as we talked about, is another place that we talk about things from the show, and people share their own stuff and do trip planning and all that kind of stuff. I love seeing, people talking about their upcoming trips and, trying to figure stuff out, and everybody chiming in on the Discord. It's, a great conversation to have and, be a part of. And last but not least, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify or anywhere you can leave us a review, leave us that 5-star review just to, help promote the show. It just helps it get around to more people. And also on iTunes, you can write us a review and let us know what you think about the show, because we love hearing what you guys think about what we're doing too. And
yeah, there's also that. Yeah, and also, subscribe to Welcome Home Podcast so you can be reminded every time we release a new episode. You can find our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TuneIn, Spotify, YouTube Music, and just about any other podcast app that's out there. You can find us. A huge thank you to our sponsor of this episode, DVC Resale Market, and also Keyholder Vacations for being a longtime sponsor of the show. Please check them out for all your DVC needs. Check out the last episode where we talked like tons of DVC, including DVC swaps and stuff like that. It was lots of good stuff there. So join us next time for more Disney Parks discussion. Of course, more DVC talk. We hope to see you all real soon.
This is Skipper Albert Awol, the voice of the jungle, signing off from Welcome Home Podcast on the DVC.
To a house when we had a chair, how she can cuddle, it's no man's affair. I look around for all the holes, found her in her sugar bowl. Hey, look out!